there, girlfriends. Super excited to be here with you today. We are going to talk about grassroots marketing. Are you ready to find out more about that? Well, we are so excited to share this with you, and we'll see you on the other side. So let's talk about grassroots marketing. I'm sure when you heard this, you're like, okay, well, what is that? Basically, it's a marketing technique that really allows you to use organic marketing to get the word out about your business. Typically, when you are starting off, this is basically your go-to method of marketing yourself because you probably don't have the funds to do ads to get the information out there. In addition to that, I am a firm believer that if it doesn't work free, it's definitely not going to work paid. So this is definitely going to give you an opportunity to find out what messaging will work with your desired niche, so you can kind of figure that stuff out. And then if you're ready to scale and want to do more, you can do the ads, but you will already know what kind of messaging to use because you've done it free. Because as you guys know, if I've always said, if it doesn't work free, it definitely ain't going to work paid. So that's definitely what we're going to go into. So when you think about grassroots marketing, I wanted to go over three things. First and foremost, I wanted to talk about identifying who your target market is. Secondly, I wanted to talk about how you can find your first 100 dream customers. And last but definitely not least, we're going to talk about how you can find out where these folks hang out. So you all know that I am all about helping you master your networking as well as using relationship marketing to grow and scale your business. So the first thing that I recommend before you do anything when it comes down to these grassroots marketing techniques is you got to know who you're looking for. And I typically find that when people are just starting out, they're just trying to make a buck. So what happens is they kind of do these odds and end jobs just to get money coming in. And they are really scared to kind of figure out who they're actually serving. And they come to me and they tell me, oh girl, I serve everybody. But you guys know the slogan. If you are thinking that you're serving everybody, you are truly serving no one. And it's very imperative for you to decide exactly who you want to serve and how you want to serve. Typically, the coaches and the consultants that I work with, they're serving the person that they were maybe 3 or 5 years ago. So they can kind of map out exactly what that type of person is. And it comes down to two type of characteristics. It's the demographics and the psychographics. Now, when you think of demographics, you're thinking of typically what you would put in an ad. You would give somebody their age, you would talk about their gender, you may even be telling them where exactly they live in the United States. Those are demographics. So those are the type of information that people typically use for ads. But when it comes down to actually finding your niche and really honing in exactly who you're looking for, typically what you're using is psychographics. That is more of you would have to somewhat ask the question for someone to really raise their hand to let you know exactly if they were that person. Like you can't just know, for example, for me, that somebody's introverted. You would actually have to say things that would attract an introvert, like know somebody that doesn't like small talk or that enjoys more of a one-on-one conversation than in being in a group, that enjoys their inner party more so than being out in a big crowd with people. Those are the type of things that you could say or put in your messaging, I know from experience, that will attract introverts because that's what they relate to. So when it comes to psychographics, it's that same kind of thing that you would want to do to call your person out in your messaging through maybe a social media post or even something you put in your email or even using surveys. That's a great way to actually find out what people are relate to as well, because I've used that in the past. For example, really quick, share an example with you. When I was doing my market research about my target market, which is introverted female entrepreneur or introverted female coaches, what I found is typically introverts don't like to be called introverted. They prefer the with introverted tendencies for whatever reason. That is something that they are more comfortable saying more so than saying introverted, because introverted has a bad rap. But that's a whole nother video, so I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, knowing that is why I put that in my messaging to call those folk out, because I knew that would be something that they were more attracted to. So once you know who you're looking for, then you got to go out and find them. And typically what I also find is that people have a tendency to think, well, I'm going to just post a whole bunch of stuff and then people are going to message me or like my post, and then that's who I'm going to do business with. Well, that is a very passive way to run your business. When you're just starting out and you're really wanting to get the ball running. You really got to literally go out and reach out to the person that you're looking for. And that's why it's so imperative for you to identify who that person is. So you can reach out to those first. For example, for me, I'm looking for coaches. So I'm reaching out to coaches. I'm looking for people that have that in their description when I'm doing my outreach on LinkedIn. And you can also do that on Instagram or Facebook or wherever your happy place is on the social media map. That is what you want to be able to do, to actually go out and reach out to them so you can offer them a product or provide them with some kind of value that you have, with maybe a checklist or a guide or even a webinar that you're doing. But you're seeking them out more so than waiting for them to seek you out. So that's number 2 of the grassroots marketing. So you've identified your person, you've actually going out and looking for them. And then the next piece is you want to be where they hang out. So I just recently had a revelation about this. Now, typically when I thought about being where people hung out, I was thinking about then I'm going to be on different podcasts that cater to introverted entrepreneurs. I'm going to be on blogs that cater to introverted entrepreneurs. But here recently, I was just kind of doing some brainstorming with another entrepreneur. And one of her recommendations, which I never even thought about, was finding people at workshops or even inside masterminds. Now, I can tell you before this mind shift that I just had, I was typically thinking, well, if I'm paying for a mastermind, typically the people in that group, if the person that's in the mastermind provides a particular service and the service that I'm providing is the same, then I'm not going to really be able to get clients out of that. But that, again, is why it's so important for you to have that narrow focus, that expertise, be that specialist like you see in the doctors, like, you have that special surgeon, not someone that general practitioner, but somebody that specializes in a certain skill, like an eye doctor, somebody that specifically, that's their niche, that they only look at eyes instead of somebody that has a general practice. Because as a result of that, when they need that particular service, that's when they can really say, oh, I need to go talk to Inga, because Inga helps me master networking and relationship marketing. That's really what I want to do, more so than just saying I help somebody with lead generation. So I want to give you that tip that, granted, yeah, you should be looking at the different podcasts and the different blogs and that different thing as well, but also in those masterminds, first and foremost, these people are already investing in themselves because they paid for the class just like you. And then when you're building that bond and those relationships and interacting with them just in the training or the networking events that they have or the Q&As that they have or even the posts that they post and maybe some of the things that you can help them with in their business, it allows you to really truly build that relationship, because at the end of the day, people are going to buy from who they like, who they know, and who they can trust. And as a result of that, when you're in those type of situations, you're building that know, like, and trust because you guys are in common ground and they've seen you and interacted with you, and you can truly build that relationship. Like I said, date your leads. So just wanted to give that as a little food for thought, that if you're in masterminds, don't feel like that's not going to be somewhere you could meet your potential customer, because if you're really niche down, you have a special talent that other folks in the mastermind don't have, it could be definitely a gold mine for you. In addition to any kind of Facebook groups or, workshops that you're participating in where people may come in and have a similar target market but provide a different service. These are excellent places for you to hang out with the dream clients that are willing to invest in themselves and buy from you as a result of your talents. So I'm hoping that gave you a little something to chew on today. I'm super excited to be here with you as always, but that's what grassroots marketing is all about. It can help you start out organically marketing your business or help you market your business organically while still using ads, and it can help you scale even more without spending more money, but give you some more of the bang that you can have to get your message out to people. So as always, thanks for watching. Share this with 3 of your friends, and I will be sure to leave the information about the survey so you can figure out who your target market is through survey, and then really be able to niche down and find out what those psychographics are for you to really attract your dream client. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.